A new report by the New York Times has shed light on the deep involvement of the U.S. in the war in Yemen. According to the New York Times report, the U.S. dispatched dozens of its commandos to Saudi Arabia to help the kingdom in its aggression on Yemen.
Well, it's confirmation that the United States has got troops on the ground in Yemen supporting the Saudi coalition.
The commandos with the U.S. Army Special Forces were sent to Saudi Arabia's southern border regions in 2017. The troopers, known as the Green Berets, are tasked with assisting Saudi forces in locating and destroying Yemeni missile launch sites.
And this is without any sort of authorization from the United States Congress. The normal procedure is that Congress has to authorize any use of force. But there was actually a vote at the Congress a while ago to stop the Americans from being involved in the war, but the vote at the Congress failed. I think it was 55 to 44.
The report has cited half a dozen officials from the U.S. as well as European and Arab countries. According to the cited officials, U.S. commandos are also training Saudi ground forces against counterattacks from Yemeni forces. American special forces in southern Saudi Arabia have also deployed spy aircraft to collect data on weapons in Yemen.
So this is a dangerous escalation and confirmation that, U.S. troops are fighting in Yemen. And, the question is, do the American people support this? There's no legal authorization, nothing from the U.S. government or nothing from the UN Security Council.
The report has sparked debates about the scale of the U.S. involvement in the Yemen war. The story runs counter to previous claims by the Pentagon that Washington's contribution to the Yemen war is only limited to aircraft refueling, logistics, and general intelligence sharing. And that has prompted U.S. congressmen to press the administration of President Donald Trump to reveal more details about Washington's military mission in Yemen. Some lawmakers have even proposed legislation to put a limit to the U.S. role in the aggression.
But there was a significant amount of opposition to the fact that there's basically a war going on without any sort of legal justification from the Americans, from the American Congress or American people.
Saudi Arabia started its deadly war on Yemen in 2015. The war in the poorest nation in the Middle East has killed over 14,000 people, mostly civilians.
So it's a very serious development, and it just means that the Americans are applying military force anywhere they want without any sort of recognition of either local rights or international law or the American law either.
Yemen's infrastructure has also been ruined. Schools, hospitals, roads, bridges, factories, and fuel stations have been destroyed. According to the data provided by the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, Saudi Arabia is now the third largest military spender and enjoys the full support of the U.S., which has the biggest army in the world.
So military spending at $1.7 trillion is high for the 9th straight year in a row. We see substantial increases in Chinese military spending. US military spending has remained constant for the 2nd consecutive year. There's been sharp drops in Russian military spending and also an increase in Saudi Arabian.
And yet they've not been able to defeat Ansarullah fighters and their allies.